misogyny kind of permeates everyday life, and it's not always the obvious thing. So when we talk about misogyny, we think of a man wolf whistling, or a man saying something offensive to a woman, or we think of Andrew Tate. But actually, it's far more pervasive than that. It's men just not understanding workplace. It's a lack of awareness. So yeah, endometriosis, that's women's issues, but there's no actual awareness or understanding of what that actually means, or how that might impact how somebody lives their life. As far as they're concerned, well, it's a painful period. When we're very little, that we don't talk about this, we have to keep it quite hidden. That affects how it's seen in the workplace. So if you're a woman and you've grown up in a society, in this patriarchal society, where you've been dismissed continuously, you've constantly been told that you should get on with things because you don't want to be one of those women, one of the hysterical women, and you know something's wrong, but your doctor's telling you there's nothing wrong, so you're experiencing dismissal there. How likely are you to go to your employer and say, this is how bad it is? The Equalities Act of 2010 will allow you to register something as a disability in the workplace if it causes significant impacts on your day-to-day work and your day-to-day life. So it depends on how the employer chooses to record that. If they record it as a disability, then you will have certain protections within the workplace. So things like having to take leave becomes disability leave rather than just sick leave, which offers you protections from perhaps being called into a meeting because you've been off too often or something like that. It gives you more flexibility on appointments and stuff. But it's hard enough for women in the workplace. So in some of the work that I've done, women talk about this kind of concern that once you get a diagnosis, but if you share that diagnosis, then you're less likely to get promoted. You're less likely to get opportunities at the workplace because they already don't want to employ you because you might have a baby and you might go off for a few months. And even though we know that that's illegal, it still happens in the same way disability discrimination happens and racial discrimination happens. We know it happens. Employers don't often turn around and say, we're not employing you because you're a woman and you've got endometriosis, so you're going to struggle to be at work.